Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Bubbleknight here. Welcome back to the letter. So last time I was really concerned about Luke's relationship with Rebecca, as some of you suggested I should probably retract. I mean, we got a good amount of relationship over here, so we're gonna say no this time and see how it goes. Sorry for the sickness yesterday, because tell you the truth, I have like stomach flu or something. I was in bed in pain like all day. I have like cramps in my stomach. It goes like this, and they will go okay for a bit, then it'll spike up. It's like, oh god, it's probably a similar woman's period, but I never know. All right, enough of that. I'm just gonna say I got a thing to do. Though when you look at it closely, okay, so it did drop ever so slightly. That's fine. It is a much difficult decision to make. First and foremost, no matter where I look at this, it is inappropriate to some degree. Disregarding Luke's honest intentions, I have only known the man for a grand total of 2 days, including today. If I'm going to be thoroughly specific, I'll give it a grand total of around 10 hours. By all means, that's enough reason for me to join them for dinner, even if it says Kylie is the one who requested it. To other people, it won't appear as innocent as he make it out to be. And if there's one ugly thing about the city, it's the place penchant for insane. And what? In a gossip, is that even a word? I don't know. One little spark, it'll spread like wildfire. Who knows how far it will go? How many years will it reach? What if Ashton hears about it? I'd rather not think about the consequences of that. I've got enough on my plate lately as it is, being at the center of the rumor mill along with this man. In whatever form it takes, sends unpleasant chills down my spine. My insides must be already shown on my face as Kylie's smile immediately dissolved to a punt.
You're not gonna join us, are you?
I'm sorry, Kylie. I'd love to, but I have other things to do. Another time, maybe? A friend just texted me about something urgent, and he wants to meet tonight.
Just say it's a date, Daisy. A little rugrat will understand. She's not an infant, no need for blatant lies.
He instantly crossed my face at his blatant insinuations. Oh, what I would give for another chance to put a real dent on his skull.
What even gave you that idea? And even if it is, why do you care? Stop sticking your nose in other people's affairs.
Oh, your face says it all, woman. You think I won't recognize those longing looks?
There isn't a look, you There isn't a look, all right?
Sure, whatever helps you sleep at night, Daisy.
You already have a story written inside that head of yours, don't you?
Oh, please. It's not that interesting. The color of your face does suit you, though. Matches the hair. Well, come on now, Munchkin. I'll just buy you an extra glass of that parfait.
With extra strawberries?
I'll get you a basket full if you want. As long as you behave. And no complaints if they don't have enough syrup again. Deal?
Deal. Have fun with your date, Miss Pink.
Luke's already leading the child away before I can correct her. Upon reaching the end of the hall, however, he doesn't miss the chance to shoot me another one into the infuriating winks. Does he really think women enjoy those? I'll sue him for harassment if I can. Though I must admit, the two of them walking together, hand in hand, is an endearing sight in itself. Relationship updated. He says he disliked the idea of having children on his own, but it's easy to see some part of him genuinely wants them. What? I didn't see any update. What? What's stopping him? Is it something to mull over, along with every other confusing and frustrating thing about this guy? Some other time though, Ashton's waiting. His car has been left turned on, illuminating the otherwise empty parking lot. If it's like that, he's probably going to be a quick visit. Although our landlady will probably be a few hundred words say about this before letting it go. Not many in this complex owns a vehicle anyway. To warranty the space frequent use, owing this area proximity to the downhill Luxborn, no one's going to be disturbed. If one car stays parked with its lights on only for a few minutes. Right now though, it serves a pleasant company while I idle inside my own car, thumbing the invitation's fine print, flipping it over and over until the motion becomes familiar enough. What should I say? How should I say it? There's a very high chance he'll say no. But on the off chance he accepts, what should I do? Fears, doubts, questions I haven't asked before, and more often than not, the anxiety is because of him. 17 years ago, I've been in the same position, a different letter in hand. Somehow, nothing has changed. Perhaps if you noticed how I always felt about him years ago, I wouldn't be in this predicament. Honestly, he managed to ace all those exams at school without lifting a finger. And he couldn't figure this out?
How dense can he get?
But I can't very well wait for another 2 decades for something as measly as an invitation, can I? It's not like it's going to be a date. Although frankly, I wouldn't mind if it is. However, that's a wish best reserved for some other time. I won't get anywhere if I just keep thinking about this what ifs. Gathering all my thoughts and courage, I set out with my car and gingerly make my way upstairs, invitation in hand. Ever since the incident 3 days ago, there's a strange air permeating the atmosphere here. Weighted but sort slowly trickle through you, until a burn of it finally bogs you down with some kind of biscuit. The days since have been a bit uneasy, and Isabel's absence from her flat does not help settle it. Every day, coming home somewhat feels like an uphill battle itself, leaving you spin while you're supposed to be getting some rest. Is Zachary experiencing the same thing? I certainly am. The same worry slump is also on Ashton's shoulders once I catch a glimpse of him. He's leaning casually on the rails, his back against his middle surface, while reading through a bunch of papers. Each one more important than the other, despite me having never read a letter of it. He'll probably head back to precinct after this. Precant? Don't know. If he's not going to drop by Zachary's for a bit of shut-eye, no rest for the wicked. But no matter how occupied he seems, he pauses anyway and looks out from his work the moment he hears my treads. He raises a hand in greetings as a small smile spread across his lips. Exhausted as I am, I can't help but return to him.
What brought you here?
He hums something inaudible, either an answer nor a vague hint, before he turns his attention back to the papers. For a passing second, I thought he ignored or evaded the question, like every single time I've asked. But then he shuffled the document back to a binder and sets it aside with a huff. It's sound, more fatigued than I ever heard from him recently. Either there's simply too many things keep him busy at once, or his investigation isn't going too well. Maybe even both.
Just work.
Just work? Do you expect me to believe that?
In a way. I didn't think an important contact ditched me and now I'm stuck would make for a cool alibi. Did it work?
As if there's going to be any difference. You're still a dafty. Anyway, do you want to come in? But if you're going to hang around for a bit, you better turn those headlights off. My landlady's one hairline away from banning you off this place, you know? Stop taking the piss out of her. She's a nice woman.
When she stops taking the piss out of Shirley, maybe I will.
What the heck's Shirley?
You and your bloody car.
Oh, God. The first time I heard about the name, I did a double take. From the way he puts it, it was as if he's talking about some woman he met somewhere, surprisingly got along with and grew fond of. Never mind how impossible that is, knowing his lack of interest in people outside of our small circle. Honestly, it sent me a surge of panic in me. It lasted for days, until he proudly introduced me to his new car. His car!
Hey, it's a nice name. Don't laugh at it. You'll hurt her feelings. I'm gonna have to give that offer a pass, though.
Nothing unexpected, but immediately I hope he will stay for a few minutes. Suddenly asking him to accompany me to a housewarming party is starting to turn into a bad idea. If he can either bother to spare a second of his time to his friends, what more if he has to stand some hours in a room full of strangers?
I need to get going. I just dropped in to check on something and...
His word trailed off, cut middle sentence on purpose, leaving for me to comprehend the rest of it. At the same time, his eye lifts momentarily towards the door closest to us. Isabel's unit. Eerily quiet now in her absence. This instant, her lip curled up in a small frown, his shoulder tense. I know work's far from his reason for being here. Being all too aware of that idea alone summons another dull ache straight into my chest. Oh, poor Becca. Like every single moment, he affords her the attention he can never seem to spare others. While to worry better left to a different situation, it twitches the heart, nevertheless.
Is there a problem?
Nothing of note. Abigail just wanted to ask her a few things. It's related to that incident with Cooper. You heard the one.
Hold on. She isn't in trouble, is she?
No, I don't think so. Not as far as I know. And do you really think Scaredy Cat can do anything like that? It's just an off-the-record thing, okay? Abigail wanted to confirm something. She knows I'm friends with someone working at BRC, so she asked me. Apparently she isn't getting anything from that company, as long as the red tape's in the way. It's nothing urgent, though. She isn't answering her phone again, so I thought I'd check myself. I can wait until she gets home.
If she comes home soon. The last time I saw her was 2 nights ago.
His demeanor immediately changes. Despite his careful attempt to appear nonchalant, his eyes scream for a spoken worry. It's almost painful to see how much he's tried to hide it, especially in front of someone he has known for years.
What? Did she take a vacation or something?
No word from her, unfortunately. And I don't think she'll go on a trip without telling us. It's been 2 days. 3 if she's not going to show up tomorrow either. Do you think we might have to file a missing person report?
I hope not. Even Zach's not acting like himself already. I wonder what that guy ate. But let me know if anything happens. You know how to contact me. I'll see you later, Becca.
Hey, where are you going? Asha squeezed my shoulder lightly as he can before stepping away, heading straight down for the stairs. His way of offering comfort in the middle of this little mess we found ourselves in. But amidst all this, a tiny voice at the back of my mind nudges at a memory. Somehow I've forgotten the very reason I've chosen to return home early. He made it 4 steps down, realization kicks in, and awareness of the envelope I've been holding returns to me. Panic reared before the proper words can form what I can think about the situation. Not a second sooner, I'm calling after
Ashton,
him.
wait!
He halts, 1 foot already down the step, when he turns to me, raising an eyebrow in question.
Yeah?
And out of all time, it is in this moment when I felt her. The adrenaline from early panic suddenly recedes. All of a sudden, none of the things I prepared to say will take form. I'm caught between simply forgetting about this or just blurting out to him while he hopes for the best. Should I even? Yes, you should. Alright? Woohoo! Alright. Doesn't roll, not try, I suppose. Not going to lose anything if he says no. Which frankly has high chance of happening on the opposite, though the thought still doesn't prevent heat from crawling on my face, sending my heart racing. It's better to get this over before my throat closes up and I lose my nerve.
Tomorrow afternoon. Do you have time?
A small frown is already his face. Already seeing where this is going, and he thinks from that alone. Yet for some bullish reason, I continued. Hanging on to my tiny glimmer of hope he will say yes, he has presented an argument good enough for him.
That depends. Why?
Well, you see, someone sent an invite for a housewarming party, and I thought you might want to...
Rebecca, I'd rather stand on the messy end of a gunshot. You know that.
I know, it's just... You're one of the few people I can count on with things like this.
That's cool. I appreciate the thought. But really, Zach's a better companion. Gatherings like that just aren't my cup of tea.
Oh, come on. I think... Alright, so... It's from appearing that Ash doesn't like Rebecca. So why am I even trying?
It did cross my mind, you know. If he isn't busy with his freelance work, I'd probably ask him too. Actually, you two would have been spared if Isabella was here, but...
Why not just skip out on it? The world's not going to end if one guest doesn't show up.
Trust me, I'd love to. But I promised Mom I'll be there.
Still can't say no, huh?
Like you're any better. Besides, the person who sent this is an old friend of Mom and Dad. If it's important to them, why not? Though, who would have thought, huh? The famous Evans heir used to be tutored by my parents. Apparently, we also met before.
Wait, who?
Evans. Hannah Evans. Well, she's already married. She goes by Hannah Wright now. Remember the couple who bought the mansion Isabella's selling?
The same people?
As far as I know. Unless I misread their address, or there's another Hano Wright in this city that we don't know about.
Let me see that.
Without waiting, he walks closer and takes the invitation out of my hands, gently but with the same force of urgency in his voice. I don't know what's he finding in it, but his eyebrow drew together as his eyes skimmed through the little lines of text printed on a small piece of paper. He holds the envelope tiny with each pass, and by the time he finished reading, his mouth had formed into a thin
She
line.
never mentioned this.
We met just once. Or at least, that's what Mum told me. Honestly, I can't recall anything from it. Otherwise, I would have told you about it.
He hummed something inaudible under his breath while thumping the paper, staring at it as if doing so would proffer him answers to every unspoken question in his head. When he gleans nothing from it, he merely folds the envelope back to his form.
All right, I'll go with you.
What?
Alright, Rebecca!
I'll go with you. That shouldn't be a problem, right? Unless you've already made up your mind about asking Z-Man.
No, I told you already the guy's busy. Why would I bother him for this when I can go alone? But what about your own work and...
I can make time for this. 3 o'clock, yeah? I'll pick you up an hour or so before.
Ah, it's a date! My head reels less from its implies. More than how easy this seems for him, how fast his turnaround is. He's already halfway downstairs when any semblance of sense returns to me, and I can finally string the 2 words of protest together. Yet, out of the dice of my tongue, the small smile he shoots me. He disappears from the view seconds later, his footsteps gradually fading as he descends the stairs. Stairwell until I can hear my own shallow breath and heartbeat, loud pounding hard against my chest. It is only after I'm standing alone in my room, minutes later, that it sinks in. He has taken the invitation with him, but besides that, more than that, he has also accepted mine. Calling this happiness is a complete understatement. From now, looming thoughts of the mansion and that woman lay sighing at the back of my head. Alright, that's shorter than okay. The nights were further without incident, despite a great number of thoughts swirling in my head. Come morning, there's a hush. Strange sort of stillness, unlike anyone screaming every morning. Oh, okay, so it's probably the same thing. Oh, well, hold on 1 second. The quiet one. Okay.
What the hell were you thinking?
I wasn't. Ow! Could you let go?
Aha! So, this is the one I need to skip until we got to the question, right? Oh! Alright. So, Bella should be doing those things. I might screw up Bella. If I do it, I'll do it with Ashton. You know, I might raise his bar. Damn it. I'm gonna go with Ash just because he is her crush. Alright. Forgive me, Bella. Erased. Now they're same relationship with Ash and Isabella. Cool. We'll probably change it if this doesn't give us a good ending, but that's a further down the line. Regardless of what Isabella's attention, curse or not, Ashton has every right to feel miffed. He's gone great lengths to try and keep his personal life away from his job. Even if he won't say it, he'll figure tooth and nail to keep us safe. At this time, Miss Cooper's death hits close. Too close, someone who
That's not
cares
what I'm
about.
trying to get at, Ash.
Then help me talk some sense into her.
I was about to get to that, Isabella. I know you're worried about those people, but you have to understand that what Ashton's doing isn't simple. He's right. You shouldn't even be involving yourself in this kind of stuff, much less doing things on your own.
I went to him, didn't I? First thing in the morning. I asked for his help.
Oh god, now I feel sorry for Isabella.
After you went ahead and did some snooping, and now you're planning another one.
Ugh.
Can't you see what's wrong with that?
You won't believe me unless I give you proof. You said it yourself. Evidence doesn't lie.
Concrete proof, Isabella. Not something based on rumors or stupid urban legends. Trust me, Belle. Any day, I'd gladly help you with anything.
I know that. I I was only hoping I could fix this before any of you.
Oh
Right.
no, I can't do this. Bella, I'm so sorry. She breathes in deep, steady. In that moment, something fell behind her eyes as she looked away. No, no. I can't do it. I hate hurting people.
Sorry. I got ahead of myself, didn't I?
A quiet resolve. The same was how her saw that day 3 days ago, but this time it burns brighter. Even Ashton wavers at side. When she looks at him straight in the eyes, gazing unflinching. Gradually he grips on his wrist loosens.
All I'm asking you for is to...
Just this once, Ash.
Her voice, though, small and lacking any force, stops him. Along with it, every sound, every noise died around us. A hush descends as the world's waiting for her words.
You don't have to come with me. But if I don't do anything, I am going to regret it.
She lays a hand to stop his, gentle, pleading, almost intimidating if one does not consider the circumstances we found ourselves in.
Please.
Ash will never tell us so, will never admit him even to himself, but it's not Sora's second on his own resolve breaks. The moment the hard edge in his eye softens as he relinquishes his hold on her, letting his hand fall and ply to his side. Wordlessly, Isabella steps back and runs off, leaving him murmured thanks and a small lackluster smile. Only after a few footsteps away does Ashton move, breaking the silence with one of his sharp exhales before reaching out to pinch the bridge with his nose, a gesture of frustration and surrender.
I can't believe she just talked me into that.
What?
Don't worry. I'll get her back here.
Oh boy. He's already poised to leave, but when the instant takes over, I reach for him, gripping his elbow in the same unyielding grip, the action promptly by the voice whispering at the back of my head. He's not going to believe me, but he deserves a word of caution. Who knows where all this will take us? How all of this will end? He shouldn't be caught off guard, beliefs notwithstanding.
Ash, I know you don't believe in those things she's saying. And you know me. I am as less inclined to believe in those as you do. But please, try to hear her out. Even if it's not a ghost or a curse, I think there's just something odd going around here.
Good job, Rebecca.
What do you mean?
Weird things. Like the feeling of someone watching you. Or shivers. The room suddenly getting cold.
Like the weird things Scaredy Cat says, you mean?
To some degree. Look, Ash, I'm not sure what it is. It's bad enough that Isabella goes off like this without telling anyone. I'm just worried something might happen to her if she keeps at it. Talk to her, okay?
Okay.
As if she trusts me enough for that.
Doesn't the fact that she approached you first about this, instead of me, already say a lot?
A different kind of trust, granted implicitly and never spoken, sometimes too big, too fragile to last. He falls silent for a long moment as he turns over his head. In the end, he manages to offer a smile nod before he departs, and it promises that, to at least, listen to her without teasing or the jibs. A favor for me and the least he can do for her. This is much as I can do for him as well, until I understand what's happening myself. That isn't so bad. Tonight, hopefully, where all this started will provide the answer I'm looking for. Except the whole thing's about the star off to a bad start. All of a sudden, whatever Isabella claims dwelling in this dimension becomes the least of my concerns. Several severely underdresses totally understatement describe how I look. Cars worth in my own apartment and childhood home combined. Line dimensions front yard, men and women decked out in their best also flock near the entrance. Most are eager for the festivity to start, while some are simply idle about, enjoying the warm afternoon the sun before it sets. But once the woman stands in front of the proud porch to speak, the all attention immediately shifts to her. Presumably Mrs. Wright. And from the confident manner she holds herself among the present company. This, despite holding a far simpler appearance than the rest of her own guests were not, having her husband beside her. a trait worthy of utmost admiration. At best, at worst, she's the envy of every woman, the subject of every gossip in Loxbourne.
Welcome, welcome everyone.
And Mom said we could have been good friends. I can't even picture myself mingling with the kind of guests she has. Still, I admit she does seem familiar now I've seen her this close. Memory of sitting in the vanity, not mine, being dressed in clothes too fancy for my taste. They flint breathing in my mind until her cheered tones raises above the buzz of her enraptured audience again.
Please make yourselves at home.
I wish I could share her enthusiasm, really, but being surrounded by all this extravagance, for the lack for a better term, merely makes me dread how the rest of the night might go. Also knowing there might be some truth to what lies inside the place helped me drive the unease further by a notch. Ash, on the other hand,
Be careful with Shirley, alright?
for someone who has heard gathering like this, he already seems right at home, standing with an air too lackadaisical. Can't understand all these big words. Let's say lackadaisical as he watches the valet drive off his bloody car.
Can't you at least act with a bit more shame?
Becca, if I find a single scratch on Shirley, there will be hell to pay.
Those guys know what they're doing. They're handling cars worth more than your precious Shirley.
My disdain has likely shown beyond the tone of my voice, quite possibly in the form of a grimace. His chuckle is a rare moment that mirth and amusement dance across his features. Try as I might pull out a stern glare, I can't help but join him instead. There's something the lightest of it, how easy this kind of interaction falls in place, when we don't let a feeling get too involved in spite of being stuck in a situation we're not fond of. It brings back memories. However, the moment doesn't hold. All of a sudden, Ashton grows quiet.
Chief?
An odd expression flashes momentarily across his face, though he blinks away before I can figure out what it is exactly.
Ashton, what's...
Sorry, Becca, I just saw someone I need to catch up with. Longtime friend.
It doesn't help he isn't even making an effort to spare a glance in my way. When he answers instead, he focuses on some point in the crowd. His gaze darting between people walking past us until a smile frown formed in his face.
Oh, wait, Ash, what about...
This won't be long. Be careful while I'm gone, okay?
I made the smile hazily throw my way with a frown of my own. What does he mean by that? But before I can ask, already he's turned his back from me and is walking away without a single explanation whatsoever. In some desperate effort, I try to catch up to him. If only know what warranted his sudden departure and his odd warning at the end.
Hey, be careful! About what exact...
Only my attempts be interrupted by a muffled ringing from my pocket. Mom's cheerful voice greets me as soon as I answer.
Yes, I'm at the party already, Mom. Yes, I'll say hi to her if I can.
The conversation itself doesn't last too long. Just a simple hello and a reminder to enjoy the party, and to send the regards to the old student. But when the call ends and I get looked up, Ashton already heading inside. With a sigh and admittedly with this little disappointment, I took my mobile back to my pocket and followed after him.
So much for date.
Even with familiar company, this is somehow shaping up to a terrible evening. The party is swing an hour later, with the host opening remarks again, still no sign of her husband, and the poor woman and the guests probably fed. The band shifts to the melody in a livelier tune. Soon, laughter and the rhythmic tapping of shoes fills the room, all in accordance with the lifting string of music. It seems fun, I admit. Fascinating. At certain moments, the flirty dancers making the music their own, almost with no care in the world. If I weren't so indisposed, I would join the crowd for a song or two. This isn't lack of invention anyway. Plenty of it, in fact, with some asking more than once. It's only my stubborn refusal that prevents me from joining them. And I can, a single now's all I take. And the evening would have been far enjoyable for me, but pride in my own silly hopes, the thought of being seen with one of them by him curbs that, as much as I hate to admit it. It's hard to swallow, especially when the very person at the center of it makes denial difficult. Can't even spare a minute of his attention with a single glance at me the whole evening. Hell, Zachary might have spoken more words to me. The big guy's busy covering the event to boot. But at least he managed to slip the conversation between the takes, or smile waving his hands when he passes by. What is the Ashton's excuse? He's been flirting in and out of sight the whole time. One moment he's hanging around the small group, in another he's hooving around the string band. Just a second ago he's hooving around some deviled eggs by the buffet table, a glass of wine in hand. The next I know, he's gone. If I didn't know any better, I say he only agreed would come with me for another reason.
I swear, the next person who asks, I'm dancing the night away with. Ashton can go fuck himself.
You would catch his eye a lot better if you wore nicer clothes, don't you think?
Her voice almost makes me jump. Two folks at a gobshite wander around the ballroom at my own noise to notice. If it's heard any of my profanity, I mumble, or is taking notice of my discomfiture, he makes no comment on it, merely greets me with a smile when I turn my attention to her. Miss Hannah Rai gives a whole different air when she's not speaking to an audience. Homely, a bit too friendly for my liking, but I guess that comes from being raised in such an environment and having to deal with the promptest snoopy people. Though, I suppose nothing has really changed after years ago. From years ago, I still remember her carrying herself in the same manner during that one and only visit. Does she remember any of it? I won't be surprised if she doesn't. It has taken me quite a while. It's taken me a while. Myself, she probably met a lot of people like little Becky throughout the years. Might have already forgotten about me or my parents. People like her thrive me on connection after all. Nevertheless, I return her smile, awkwardly and stiff as may be.
Didn't realize the housewarming was going to be this fancy. I would have gone with a nice dress if I knew.
Oh, you're fine, dearie. It's only really the parvenu, those who climb, that come to these parties all dolled up. Quite the black-haired beauty, isn't he?
Oh, this is the same dialogue as the one the Hannah has. Still, without looking knowledge away, Miss Rice speak. Okay, yeah.
Who, Ash?
You know, you really shouldn't have turned down those offers. If I wasn't married, I'd happily go dancing with those young men. But you said a name. Ash. That's the exquisite lad you've been looking at all this time. I don't know him, and I'm the one hosting this party. That must mean you know each other. Is he your boyfriend then? Because that would explain those rejections.
Aha! There we go. So, let me just go a little bit forward on this.
Oh, such many here.
And I haven't been looking at...
That's right. You've been staring. Quite heatedly, in fact. Although I'm not sure if you look like you want to kiss him or kill him.
It's more the latter currently.
Okay, yeah, this is exactly the same dialogue as with Hannah. So I'm just gonna skip forward. You know this button to skip forward. You know how fast it skips? Like this. So I'm scared to press that button.
Good evening, ladies and gents.
Even she shows up. All right.
Now, escort the girl and make sure she isn't standing even an inch within our grounds.
So the choice that we made actually made it good. Okay, there you go. A tired but filled with humor in spite of what we witnessed.
Let me guess. Ashton.
Oh, what makes you think he's my problem?
Just a hunch. And, it's all in your face, actually.
Why does he have to? I don't understand that man anymore.
Like I always say, you should just...
Oh, you can bet your ass we're going to have a very long talk. I'm not letting him off easy this time.
I'm sure he has a good reason. He won't say it, but he likes being around us. Heck, we're probably the only people he likes. He ain't gonna ruin that for something stupid. He can be dense, but he ain't dumb.
But it's exactly what I've been telling people, isn't it?
We'll see about that. I just want to go home. Are you done here?
Nah, sorry. I can't until the party ends.
It's all right. I'll just take a cab or something. I'll see you later, Zachary.
Before moving myself from my room, I lay a comforting hand on his arm. He'll need them, all these people. And then I'm gone, more than ready to end the disastrous night as early as possible. Oh, poor Rebecca. I don't know what Ashton's doing, but when we get to his story, if he doesn't do anything meaningful, I'm gonna kill him. It turns out the night isn't over with me yet. Oh, you! Because no sooner than Porter closed the door behind me, I found myself standing alone in the foyer with one Luke Wright. No sign of his wife, just him and the agitated clicks his shoes makes while he treads around the empty room. Away from the media praying eyes and their guest judging stares, it's easier to glean how this much scandal has been shaking. Not to the point he has utterly lost his composure. He appears to have mastered himself enough not to. But an ample opening is there for a nervous edge to show on the lines of his shoulder.
What do you know?
The man's not as tough as he make it out to be. Sure, I've seen this before, briefly in that 1 second in the hallway at school. It's a strange matter, however, to witness this out in the open. Behind closed doors, this is the real Luke Wright. Though maybe that's because he hasn't noticed my presence yet, busy as he is with his thinking. If he's aware, I doubt he'll be acting like this. His pride is one of those things he always wear with him. Even now, I place a gentle hand on his shoulder, and he whirls around to face me. There's a second long moment of anger flashing across his features before he dissolves to confusion. He tucks away as quickly as he can, but it does nothing to change the impression I build of the man in my head.
Daisy, must you be everywhere?
We've only met 3 times, Luke. Quit the dramatics. Besides, shouldn't you be aware of who gets invited to your party?
If I was, there wouldn't be any of that scene tonight. That munter wouldn't even get an inch within this property. I'd better off Luxborn if I could.
He probably pawns everything out to their servants and Hannah. Pompous, at least douche.
Did you just come out here to lecture me about it? Because, Daisy, I've had enough of it for one night. I don't need to hear another one.
You are a very unpleasant man.
So I've been told. Will that be all? If so, I suggest you go back and join every bloody goss in that room.
Not everything an unpleasant and frustrating talk with this man is. He deserved the benefit of the doubt, at least. The question and critics aren't lacking, of course. Wait, what? But right instance, okay, so I'm gonna guess is it true that she sleep with him or something? But I'm gonna go with she be a wife. Let's check one more time. Okay, look over here.
You know, brooding over here isn't going to fix this mess.
Okay, so we're actually moving up a little bit. It's good, I guess.
Again with the lecture.
Will you stop calling it that?
Very well, what should we call this then? A heart-to-heart? Please don't, I might puke. And just so you know, I don't want to talk about feelings. Ever.
This isn't one, all right? It's just a friendly concern. Bloody hell, can't you just take it for what it is?
He pauses at that. Suddenly he doesn't know what to do with his hand, and at the end, he simply stuffed them back to his pocket and sulks. There's probably aren't many people who tells me that. He's a difficult man to get along with, after all. I honestly won't give him a second of my time if I didn't see a different side to him. Dealing with him requires more than patience. When the awkwardness passes, mostly coming from him, he's merely gets away. But the tightness in his shoulder has eased when he speaks again. Despite a rather rude choice of words, none has any venom in it.
Friendly concern, right. While we're at it, I should mention that Hana used to call that viper friend. Now I think she might want to strangle the munter if she sees her again. After she's done with me, of course.
I doubt she's going to do anything like that.
What do you even know about this?
Oh, I know enough. You may look like a sleazy douche, and you still are, by the way.
It's almost comical how fast his face shifts from mild disdain to offended, but I don't let it distract me. These things need to be said, and he needs to hear them, even though they're coming from something meddling stranger.
But you have your few good moments. I might even say that you're a decent person, if I'm in the mood. Now go. If you really love her, you've got to try and fix this yourself.
Maybe tomorrow.
Luke.
Daisy, did you see her earlier? Was that the face of a wife who wants to have a chat with her cheating husband?
Oh god, so he admitted.
Oh, well, at least you admitted you did something wrong. Good for you. How about a star? Would you like a star to go with that good deed?
Don't get used to it. Do you realize how awkward this is?
Oh, I do.
Before I've even thought about what to say, I've known there can be only two ways this can go. All things considered, it isn't as bad as I assume. However, there are still some things on my brain of encouragement can't fix. His marital problem, first and foremost, his attitude follows right after. Concerns aside, I can help with those. Those are things that only he can fix. It's definitely not by standing around here bantering.
Don't worry, I was just about to leave. Feel free to continue with your brooding once I'm gone. I'm not going to tell anyone. Cross my heart.
You think this is funny, Daisy?
Uh-huh. Laughter's the only response I gave him. With a sly wave of my hand, I end it right there and walk away. Although I can't resist the urge to glance back before I leave, if only to have one last look at the man he really is. But the instant I turn my gaze, I see it. Oh boy. Oh boy. Looming over his shoulders, drawn him like a moth to a flame. Like the first time I was stepping inside this place searching for Isabella. He was there too, wasn't he? The man, along his wife and another person, Miss McClure? In that shadow. No. A woman now. Her, no longer a dark blur. Terror rushes through every vein of my body. Crippling sensation gripped every part of me, while she stared at me with a glare filled with nothing but hate and venom. It's like staring at the eyes of a woman unknowingly robbed of something precious. I try to say something, a warning, but before I can gather my wits and the voice out, someone shuts the door behind me, as if to keep outsiders away from the secrets of this mission. Possess? Oh God. The brush of fresh air against my cheeks does little damn to chill my bones. Chilling my bones. By now, the sensation of fear and disquiet it leaves whenever I see her is familiar enough for me. Already it has made a home in my nerves. I don't even notice my trembling hands until I cross my hands. I arch across my chest. The cold from the tips of my fingers seep through the thick material of my skirt. Neither of it brings together some semblance of coherent through in my head. But I know I should.
Someone has to tell that douche.
I start walking back before fear can cripple me again. It's not wise, returning that is, especially after what happened. But Hannah's still an old friend, and Luke doesn't deserve whatever misfortune that letter might bring. I just can't leave those two in there. Isabel's right. He's real. She's real, and there's something she wants from everyone who has read that.
Becca, where'd you go off to? If we're done here, let's go.
My mistake, the second his voice cut through the crisp night air, is that I've allowed my annoyance to get the better of me. Fuming purpose forgotten, I whir around and march towards him. One accusation after another piles at the tip of my tongue, ready to hurl at any moment. There's no hesitation holding me back when I fling at him. The straight face he keeps as I do so doesn't help my temper my anger either. It only makes me want to slap some more sense into him.
Shouldn't I be the one asking you that?
Becca, I've been waiting here the whole time since that mess in the hall. I told you I hate parties like...
And before that, where have you been the entire evening?
Right then and there, I might have forgiven him if he showed some ounce of remorse for leaving me like that. Maybe he could have looked away. Maybe give me a sign that the session might be right. He doesn't even need to put it back into words. A single gesture of confirmation is all I need. Rather, what I get is a same impassive look. He does that whenever he can't disclose anything. He does that whenever he's lying. In the face of it, amidst the thick tension, a frustrated huff is the only thing I can summon.
Be that way. Fine. Suit yourself.
No more words. After everything I've seen and heard tonight, I'm already too exhausted for those. So without speaking any further, I simply walk past him and stump over his car. Although before I can pull the door, he calls out, one hand outstretched, a gentle weight on my shoulder.
Wait, Becca.
He pauses, his brow furrowing, his lips curved in a slight frown. I can almost see as he gears turn his head while he tries to piece together everything he wants to say. Before perhaps I might have waited patiently for those. He's not a man of funding or using words to express himself. More often than not, any gesture of honesty will only come out blunt and coarse when forced. But today, for one reason or another, I simply can't summon that forbiddance.
Ashton, if you're just going to waste my time again...
Becca, listen. I don't know how else.
That much is obvious. Why don't you just take the whole bloody night? Go on. I can wait until next year. Better yet, why don't you just keep it all to yourself like you always do? It's not like...
Rebecca, will you hear me out first?
The silence I can offer him, but whether I believe what he's about to say is still up for debate. A very long debate.
I honestly don't know how else to put this. I'm aware your parents have some kind of history with Hannah Wright, and somehow you're friends with her. But you should stay away from these people for now, especially the husband.
Who? Luke?
The expression depends on the skull in my mention of that name, but whatever an opinion he has, he doesn't immediately voice. Still, something about it greatly displeases him, evident in the stiff note his tone assumes.
Yeah, he's bad news.
So, alright. What does he have to... I think that might lower it. Okay, let's check the relationship level. Dude, I feel I'm cheating. Care to explain reasons?
Care to explain your reasons?
Okay, it goes up by a little bit. I guess that's good. I've not meant to sound as harsh as it does, but anger and frustration have never been a good match in me, particularly at nights like this. It's not surprising when Ashton jerks back, as if I've struck him. For a fleeting moment, something akin to hurt dart across his features, his eyes narrowing and hands closing tight into a fist at his sides. Then swiftly, he glances away and shifts his focus and a line with street nearby, like an answer could only gleam from the darkness expanse.
I'm really sorry, Becca.
Oh, there's a hope! What is it for? Is it for the party? The vague answers he continued to give? Does it include all this time before this? The year's worth of it? I don't doubt it sincerely. However, at the moment, the forgiveness he's asking isn't something I'm all too willing to hand, furious as I am. It's frankly a wonder how I can keep myself from raising my voice at him.
We'll talk about this tomorrow. And you better have a proper answer for me by then.
There's a brief hesitation before I step away. A short moment of wanting to say more, of waiting if he has anything to add. He's only silent, eyes still strained at a distance. It's the last glimpse I see of him before I climb inside his car. If the door slammed close to the same force as the anger I'm holding, a sound merely vanished into the night unnoticed. He follows soon after that, and surely we're on our own way back to the city. Yet, even with the city's bright lights welcoming us, the dense, sober air from the mansion still lingers. The moon's almost as high as the time we reach Salemwell. Even after our respective heads have cooled off, the atmosphere within the car remains riffled with unspoken tension. This isn't a problem so easy fixed with a few handshake. Quite frankly, I don't know what will. Ashton himself had no idea what to do when he alights with dawdles awkwardly in the middle of the car park on shore. It almost seems like he's having an internal debate whether he should say goodbye or mutter another apology. I could have driven off, purely out of spite, but the second I've gotten off, still old habits die hard. It's late, and Ashton's flat's on the other side of the city. Irritation might still rear its head every time I look at him now, but I'm not too cruel to put up another long drive, especially when he still appears as if he hasn't got any rest.
You can borrow the couch.
I throw the keys to my flat I throw the keys to my flat his way before he protests form on his lips. Although he catches with ease, his eyes with a worry expression and shoots a puzzled glance at my way.
You haven't been forgiven. We're still going to have that talk, believe me. But I'm not about to send you out on another drive looking like that. It's late. Go get some rest.
Oh God. We're setting aside a lot of loose ends like this, but he appears to have accepted that reason, at least in the meantime. He does give another questioning glance when I shove past him, pulling my mobile in the process.
Where are you going? I thought...
You go ahead upstairs. I need to contact Professor Andrew.
Andrew? Why would you... Oh, no. Please. Is this that thing Isabella said this morning? Again? I already gave her my word, Becca. I'll look into this BRC crap. No need to drag the old guy into it.
Of course, he's still skeptical. It makes one wonder he's even seeing anything at all. Figures this curse will stay away from the scuffer. But this is another loose end tonight I just can't leave alone. Ashton's beliefs notwithstanding. It just so happens it's the only one I can delve using any means other than taking a look at the mansion itself.
Ashton, do you really think I still give a shite after that stunt you pulled tonight?
No, but this is...
I've spent too many years with him knowing this is about to turn to another argument. Before he can finish it, I cut him off with a firm raise in my hand.
Look, I don't care. There are weird things happening around here. And yes, it's Isabella's brand of weird. Ghostly voices, strange sounds, and a bloody woman sitting at the back of my car. You don't have to believe me. And I no longer have the patience to convince you, so just leave me be, Ashton.
He doesn't push it, growing quiet instead, although I know he has a whole case of it prepared inside his head. But there's a reluctant shift in his movement. When he stepped away from our conversation, short of climbing the stairs, he stops, turning to face me with an expression almost too conflicted.
Are you really sure?
What?
That there was something? That you've been, seeing things?
Yes, I'm very, very certain. Now go, and you better not break anything in there. The last time I let you stay over, it was that statuette Belle gave me. You haven't even replaced that one.
The last of my reprimand goes both unheard and unanswered as he disappeared behind the stairs. If things are strained, he might have quipped what two about it, followed by a light banter. Instead, for a long moment, I'm left staring after him. There's something in the way he asked it that nags. Coupled with his expression, the whole exchange just feels unsettling. One that doesn't fade away even as I gather my thoughts and shifts my focus to another even as I dial Professor Andrew's number. And that is when it clicks. During the long wait for the professor, one stray thought emerged from the unease. Ashton does not intend for this question to be a jib. It's a concern. For what, though? For my well-being? The latest curse? The woman I mentioned? The answer for those who have to wait, however. Finally, the call connects and Professor Andrew's voice echoes from the receiver.
Professor Andrew?
Rebecca? It's late. What can I do for you?
I know, I'm sorry, but this is a bit urgent.
After all, this is a more pressing matter. Our lives might be at stake and we're all still in the dark.
Actually, I was wondering if I could ask you to do me a favor.
Okay, we're moving along quite nicely, huh? So I want to see how far we kind of progress along here. Oh, wow. Look at this line we skipped. We skipped all this stuff in between the middle. Oh god, okay, so oh, we're almost at the end. We are almost okay. We are going to finish this. All right, we're gonna finish it. President Andrew Clark has agreed to meet me with 2 days later from Luxmore's public library. He has another commitment, but being a longtime friend has its perks. I might pay parents' connection to think for that. Of course, I'm not the sort to impose on him often, but the situation was not entirely bad, although it does require calling a few favors on a friend like him. Without his signature, I won't be able to gain access to a library restricted section. If I want to get more in-depth information on the Ermengarde Mansion, that is, not simply what they choose to show the general public. As much as I hate to admit it, there's always something people censor, and for what it is, I won't ever find in a general section. It has to be what they're keeping there, beyond the public eye. The thought of that alone makes me antsy. Thankfully, I don't have to brood over it. The wait for the professor doesn't last long. He never did enjoy making people wait. Likewise, he disliked people who are tardy. He arrives 5 minutes after I do, greeting me with a kind of smile, casual wave in his hand. I haven't seen him so long, but it appears he hasn't changed much. His familiar presence is long enough for a fun smile to spread across my face.
Professor Andrew.
Rebecca, didn't I say long ago you can drop the professor?
You know I can't possibly do that. Even if I can, it feels disrespectful to call you by your name alone.
Both you and Ashton never listen to this old man. Kids these days.
All right, but just for today, since you're doing me a huge favor, Andrew.
I guess you simply can't have it all, even at this old age. But pleasantries aren't what we're here for, yes? You mentioned you needed a permit.
Yes, sir, if that's okay with you.
More than fine. Anything in pursuit of knowledge, as they say.
He hands me the permit without further prompting. What is this? And just like he promised, he's also written a recommendation after his signature. It's more than enough to get me through those files. I murmur small thanks before slipping in my pocket. Although when I look back up, his brow are furrowed, in a very face of curiosity. Not surprising, considering how vague I've been during our little talk over the phone. Right there and then. Right there and there. Shouldn't be right there and then. I've decided to tell him if he ever asks. Maybe not all of it, but stuff he needs to know. It's the least I can do to thank him. As expected, too, with his inquisitive nature, he asks.
If you don't mind, though, I know you've always been an eager learner. But may I know what in the restricted section that piqued your curiosity?
It's the Ermengarde Mansion, sir.
He quickly raised an eyebrow at that, and for a while I fear he'll take the slip of paper back. Is there something in what I said?
The ones they have out in the general isn't enough?
I'm, hoping for a more in-depth read, sir. More about the history and the people who once lived there. The general section doesn't have anything much on that.
Oh, I see. Well, you certainly aren't the first one to be enamored with that place. It doesn't shock me. The architecture is admirable, and the urban legends are something to talk about. Why, just this past week, I've got a few asking me about that. Imagine that.
I think enamored might be a little too much to describe our interest in it. But I have to agree. The mansion is beautiful, even with the renovations. They kept the stained glass windows, too. They are magnificent.
Oh, you've seen it.
I was there for a few hours to attend a housewarming party. The invitation was for my parents, but they couldn't make it. My mum used to work as a private tutor for the Evans. Hannah Wright?
Ah, I know of her. Her husband, too. Who doesn't? Luxbourne's most popular couple.
Something felt behind his eyes, the warmth in the suddenly gone. Like he's reliving a painful distant memory and seeing it play right in front of him. It disappeared almost as soon as his service. But that look has unsettling something in me.
Is something the matter?
Nothing much. But you know, you're already like a daughter to me. So if you could, do be careful with the friends you make.
Is this about the rights, sir?
Just a friendly advice from an old man. Don't think much about it. Anyway, I have to leave now. Can't miss my weekly serving of bear claws. Say hi to your parents at the detective inspector for me, will you?
Bear
Wish you luck with
claws.
all that research.
I will. Thanks for this, Andrew.
Andrew gives me my shoulder a light squeeze and a gesture a young me has always appreciated, and quickly crossed the street after. I watch him until he disappeared behind the door to the cafe, until the doubt swimming inside my head finds a moment to rest. Whatever his business with the right isn't anything I should concern myself about. But somehow, in the grand scheme of things now, all feels oddly relevant. The how, though, I've yet to find out, and I'm hoping the library will give me the answer I want this time. On a gloomy Sunday morning, the library is especially empty. The second floor in particular, I've always considered this place a sanctuary despite away from the hubbub of the city. As a child, I grew up reading books here, spending hours here to no end poring over pages, living out fantasy in my head until my parents called me home. Now it feels nothing like it. The silence is smothering, suffocating, even how clean they have kept the microfiche room, how the entire smell of it lacks a speck of dust or clutter. Breathing is a struggle for air. Not far into my stay, I begin to lull the noise outside, and perhaps as a way to calm this unease, I start to hum and tune. Imagine that. Why of all things it had to be a silly nursery rhyme? I have not an inkling. It does the job, however. It fills the lull with something far less awkward, far less deafening, and that's enough for distraction. I have business here, no time for silly daydreams, only important work to attend to. Even if there's a possibility of being fruitless, and by some means it feels like I have to do it. If not for me, then for the people who has been affected by this. What do we even call this? A haunting? A Halloween prank gone wrong? A curse? Isabella were here, what would she say? Would she panic? Would she be angry if I don't listen to her now? And I'll stand for one moment to in that movie house, doesn't it? We all could avoid this if we had only taken a warning to heart. Once to a mistake is all it took to send our normal lives to a downward spiral. Frankly, I'm no longer sure if I'm angry at myself for it, or the universe for throwing us into the mess. But we can only make do with what little we have. And that's exactly what I'm doing. Going here might not be the right decision, but just start.
A good start.
It doesn't take much time for me to find what I need: a microfiche of the old newspaper, long kept special storage cabinet at the far end of the restricted section. The years 1620s and beyond, before the city of Luxmore even existed in the records. The mansion just been built. Anselm is nothing more than a small, sleepy hamlet near a river. A lot of pieces are missing. Days, sometimes several consecutive weeks, without any records remaining. Often it goes for years. Troublesome, but it is. I'm lucky to find anything at all, considering how far I'm going looking back. Can't be picky now. Can't waste time mulling over the record keeper of the could have done to make this a breeze for me.
I can still work with this.
The faint word microfiche machine keep me company as I go over each slide, each image, hoping for something that goes beyond the local lore knows. They're all snippets, little mention of the family that once settled in the house here and there. The usual sing and praise for the couple who helped brought up the once tiny settlement to a bustling town. Nothing substantial, nothing I didn't know before. It continues on like this for a good while, until I come by the years after the deaths. The people of Anselm might have loved Lord William and Lady Elizabeth Ermengarde, mourned their passing, and held in high esteem in the years after. But it was a daughter that was remembered fondly by the townspeople. If their parents built this town, Lady Charlotte was the one who made it prosper. Remarkable, concerning it was a period of recovery from about a plague that killed half the town's population, including her parents. What's surprising though, apparently her times also marked more this superficial change to the place. She moved things, changed laws, altered old customs and traditions. They were done a woman's whimsy. It doesn't say, but she seemed capable enough for more than that. The gist of it is the town she rebuilt, it eventually grew to become Luxmore City, where nearby Insolent Village remained as it was, a relic of the old. A frown swift forms in my face.
So, why is there a need to hide this?
One by one, I try to recall every lesson I've gone through, every book, every paper, and in journal I've read. None of those ever mention this. It's always the lord and lady of the house, the endearing child, always an afterthought of those anecdotes, the one who always took her life in the end. Never someone who restored a town from the brink of a collapse or brought new ideas to it. Is it because she's a woman?
That pisses me off.
Granted, not everything is sunshine and rainbows. Not all aspects she can be considered admirable. But this is a history. Some parts are bound to natural delves into unpleasant territory whether I like it or not. Witch hunts, for example, become common near the end of her life, which would completely unremarkable and might have become mere footnote in history if it didn't involve Lady Charlotte and the very slave she saved. It caused quite a stir, enough to leave almost a week worth of clippings. The girl was eventually burned, condemned by the entire town, and the word Lady Charlotte alone. But this doesn't really have anything to do with this curse, does it? Unless that woman following us and the slave are the same person. A tale of revenge? How cliche. However, with the lack of accurate photographs, it's impossible to tell. Maybe if I squint, the illusion will start resembling her. But in my field, it doesn't work that way. It shouldn't work that way. I'll be laughing the stock of the community.
This isn't going anywhere.
Mentally exhausted, I take a careful step away from the screen, pressing a palm to my tired eyes. A lack of impolite enthusiasm doesn't help. A headache already threatens to form at the back of my head. Yeah, I'm nowhere near figuring things out. There's simply too much to take in all at once.
I should have asked for someone's help.
Now I'm a dead end. I start gathering everything around me and placing it back in their respective envelopes for storage. The motions no longer new after a volunteer here a number of times. I didn't make much of a mess anyway, considering the lack of material available to begin with. I'll have to look somewhere else. The where remains unknown though. But just as I'm about to slip the last of the slides in, something catches my attention. My hand pauses, the microfiche halfway through its protective sleeves. This one, the few I set aside without taking a careful look at. It seems like a gossip column at first glance, but upon closer look, I slide into back the reader, gently turn the dial in the search of the page. It takes some time, but once the image becomes clear, they must have this drawing commissioned for the announcement. I don't doubt it. The details are far more intricate, like likeness likely close to how they might have been appear at the time. They're both recognizable. I believe that's a typo this way. Closer to those paintings I see in the mention. However, the man standing beside her, adored Godfrey, according to the article that caught my attention previously. Her first cousin, eventually her fiancé. Maybe it's a posture, the manner in which he holds himself, or maybe it's the shape of his eyes, though I can't be too certain about those until we got a better reference. Nevertheless, there is a resemblance. He eerily looks like. My head snaps up, glowing at whoever is running the floor above. Any day I'll march it upstairs and reprimand whoever it is.
This is a library, for heaven's sake.
But now isn't the time. I've gotten what I need. Without wasting another minute, I hit the machine's print button for to copy the image, while another hand moved to put everything back to storage. A rag Excel slid from me. Relief perhaps, or maybe this is already exhaustion. Regardless, so I'm closing my eyes as I wait for the printer to finish. If only a stave off a headache building up from everything. Sometimes I begin to hum the same song again for comfort. Despite the doubt about this, despite the doubt tension in my shoulders, this might be a small find, but at least I can start somewhere. We can start somewhere. There's a way out of this, I know. The printer spurred out to a halt, However, this sounds like it isn't what makes me stab my eyes open. Oh shit! Just feeling chilly brush a hair behind my back. Breathing out moment something sickening to suddenly lodge itself in my throat while I took in my surroundings. It's a suffocating sensation again, creeping to every part of me, crawling under my skin, draining me little by little of any strength. From that day in the mansion, from the day the brief moment at school, without delay, I grabbed the papers and make a quick beeline for the door. Shit! Alright, quick time event, here I come. Ready, man. Ready for you. The whole body freezes.
What are you doing, Miss Pink?
I hold my breath, not daring to make any noise. For a little while, the sound of the paper crumpling under my grasp fills the room. The excitement from earlier gone instantly, replaced by the cold, seeping dread spread throughout the limbs. But more than the fear is anger. It pains me to hear her use my own student voice against me. And more than once I believe was really her. She has no right.
Why don't you play with me?
Although she hasn't made a move, if there hasn't a wall behind me, I'll probably take a step back. Anything put distance between us, no matter how small, as long as I'm out of her reach. But I steel myself because I do fall back, turn away from her. I'll be left with no way out. I'm not dying here.
You think you scam me?
That's right!
Miss Pink, don't be so rude. I'm waiting.
I'm not afraid of you, you spook. This is one Scotswoman. You aren't getting into an early grave without a fight. Come at me.
I expected she'd lunge, prove to me what monster she is, but instead she gave me a smile, twisted and gnarled. It is as if the crawled to a stop at the sight of it, a split-second decision, and before I know it, my body shifts, closing my eyes in anticipation, and grabbing whatever solid enough to the nearby table and hurling at her. I don't bother looking whether I threw it hit its mark. I run as soon as I can. The legs and carry me, despite my heart trying to burst out of my chest. But in the maze of bookshelves, the whole place almost void of people. No! Alright, there has to be two different endings. Let me say first. I'm gonna... If she's gonna chase me, I'm gonna hit for the door. Just because I think I'll get out that way. I'll hit for the upstairs too once I'm done with the door, just in case if I died or something. There's one out of this room, out of this place, as far away as anyone he can get from her. I can think about the rest of what I can do after I'm outside. When there are other people I can ask for help. When she's not chasing me like this, there's no hesitation. My steps are raced for the restriction section door, hit downstairs and barrel straight through a library exit. Towards safety, I desperate bid for my life. Library rules be damned. I can no longer hear him behind me, but I'm not taking my chances. A breath almost escaped me as I near the door. A little more, when out of nowhere, a library car careened from the blind corner and slammed to my sides. My back hits the floor with a hard thud. The impact completely knocked the breath out of me. The copper tang of blood gradually spreads over my tongue as I fight to get my bearing back. Oh, I don't want to die! Come on! I force myself to move, even the excruciating pain coursing through my limbs. The exit is almost there if I can, but it's the moment to recite. Shite! The next I know, there's heavy weight up propping and the cold digits slide around my neck. Tight like a vice, pressing, closing in, leaving me gasping for air. Through my blurry vision, I can only make out the hateful gleam. Despite her eyes as they glare over my body as she grips on my throat grows tighter. Desperation kicks in, my nail dig into her wrist as I struggle against her firm grip, trying to pry her fingers open. Bitch be crazy! Poke her eyes. Poke her in the eyes. What? Okay, hold on. What? Oh, okay. Okay, so. Is it? Oh, no. Oh. Are you serious? Are you serious? Oh, did I do it right? Alright, I don't think twice. My limbs are moving on their own before what I did could fully register. My brain, my lungs could recover. Behind me, she lost out, cried sharply, loudly, and thunderous against the empty walls of the library. But the fear her will brings compares nothing to relief washing over me when I finally make it out. My knees buckle as soon as my feet hit the pavement. It serves cold and hard against my skin. I've only been there for a few hours, maybe 1 or 2, maybe, probably. I don't know anymore, but it feels like eternity all the same. My breath hasn't slowed down yet, and I don't expect it. After going through that, I probably look like the most undignified creature on a Sunday morning right now, out of breath. Disheveled, stumped here with a bloody lip and all. But at present, I suddenly can't bring myself to care, even when a few passers to start giving me strange looks. Stare at me all you want, I don't give a single shite. I'm alive. I'm safe. This isn't in yet, but I'm safe. Inside my bag is something that could get us out of this mess. Nothing definite yet. I don't want to get my hopes up, but there's still something. Isabella's here. I'm sure she'll feel the same. She'll be the first one to put her faith on it. Wherever this will lead us to victory is on its own. Now all that's left to find others. The rest of us trapped in this bloody nightmare. Round the queue, if in answer to my previous thought, my mobile phone lets it beep. I pick it up simply hoping you'll be one of them. Only it's a voicemail that greets me. From Ashton. There's a pain of disappointment, of course, but it brings some reassurance that nothing happened to at least one of them.
Hey, Becca, call me back when you're free. We need to talk. ASAP.
He ends right there. The message is less than a minute long, curt, and gives nothing away. I let it ease my worries regardless and do as he asks. Because this, too, is another triumph for us. One less thing to worry about. Okay, so we made it. Okay, I gotta check. I gotta check the. Hold on. Let me save this first. The branching tree. Holy shit. Oh my god. Do you guys look? The Ashton's. Oh, this is humongous. This is nothing compared to. Okay, so look how small the cursor is. Like the red line is. Compared to Becca, it's about twice as this. Oh god, so I could have died. Game over? Okay, yeah, I could have died. Okay, so I think we're okay. So her he retains relationship level with Isabella and Rebecca. Is very not like Luke. I had to make it Luke like Luke somehow. But wow, so we survived. That's good. Wow. Should I go back to read the other one? Let's just do it, alright? Let's just do it. Should be. If on Sunday morning I'm going to a special permit, so the last. Okay, I couldn't possibly tell them about this. They won't believe the same matters. We didn't put Isabella's story until it's too late. But easy come with excuses. For now, it's important I don't end up trapped in this alone with her.
Safety in numbers, as they say.
There's no hesitation in my steps. I race upstairs. Ears straining for a sign of a sound of woman appearing, jumping, scaring me any second. I can see her here behind me. They grin in my bones, but okay, call me back. Although it's a distance, I don't slow my pace down. Library rules be damned, because no matter how I pretend to be brave, the level ahead of me with a tough one, this terrifies me. This scares me more than anything. This isn't how I plan to die. When I get to the 3rd floor, only signs welcome me in an emptiness that stretches far too wide, spanning the entire floor to be insured. Just behind me, somewhere the foot the stairs, pain raised my throat. Oh no! I bolt, desperation kicking without warning. Takes 2 steps at a time. Tribute clumsy over some last-ditch attempt to escape, but I know, the back of mine, I know all this futile. Oh no! Only becomes clearer once the door that opens, revealing a vast, early morning skyline, treading at my heels, blocking my only way out.
Stay away from me!
Oh no! Oh god! Uses plea. Does she even understand what I'm saying? Can she even? Is she even still human in the first place? Somehow I doubt it. No human would ever do this. Simply imagine what she's capable of doing to us. I won't want to give her a chance.
Telling you to back off.
Her gaze slow as you walk forward. You stride accompanied by sound of breaking bones. Blood oozing from the wounds that never fun healing. With the image, when she draws near as I pull away to take back a little distance I came between us, the smile of her merely grows wider, a mocking gesture. For me, she may be less a human now, but I'm pretty sure she's fully where she's got me cornered. She wouldn't be bothered making it here if she isn't. But I can't look away, I can't bring myself to, even as I heal my shoes eventually hits the edge. End of line. Trapped, alone. So this is how it ends, huh? Quietly yet without fanfare. Surrounded by not a warm breeze but a chilling morning air. Not a soft. Oh my gosh, she talks too much. She thinks too much. Just get out of there. Nothing in cold. How fitting. Oh no. Oh no.
Hey, did I wake you up?
No, I left you a voicemail, so I thought, where are you?
The one I grew up, but always got grades better than without even trying. The index I put up with all these years. Who stood by me even all these things got tougher? The one person who constantly in my life.
Do you remember that one time?
The what?
Back in secondary. We joined a contest back then, didn't we? We had to dress you up as a girl and...
No.
What? You looked really pretty. I think I still have that picture somewhere.
Burn it. We're not talking about that again. You promised. Seriously, what brought this on?
Nothing. It's just the first thing I remembered.
So weird. Despite everything, my lips curl to a smile. Faint as sad little things about its own given situation. Because even at the very end I know I had this. The casual talk, the friendly banter. Talking like how we used to, I always would as a children. If only I haven't been too selfish. If only I haven't taken over by all this granted in favor of my feelings. Then perhaps I wouldn't be regretting anything now.
You're being weird today, Becca. Whatever. Listen, I need you to go home right away. I'm at Salem Well right now and...
I wish time would simply stop for us. There's still a lot of things I want to say. Things I never bothered saying out loud. Things I said a long time ago to someone who has always been my side. But this moment, there's only one.
Thanks, Ash.
Oh, this is...
Hold on. Did I do something?
For everything.
Rebecca, what?
I'm so glad to have known you.
Wait, what are you? God damn it, Rebecca, where are you?
Soft click. I'm closing my eyes. This rush of air, sound of world dimming around me. Like a song coming inevitably to the end.
London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down, my fair lady.
Oh god, what is this? You ungodly memory fragment. Oh, what the crap? So this might be oh, they don't seem as a happy couple as it seems to be. That lady she's grabbing on, she could be the one that's the ghost, right? That's probably the ghost. That's a slave. So I'm guessing okay, there's much story going on with this. So yeah, that's pretty good. So there's something to be unlocked if you got a bad ending. That's kind of interesting. But anyways, time going on for way too long. Anyway, I hope you guys like this ending. I think... Is that all the ending for Rebecca? Okay, so there's one more ending actually. But very an A... But I think you die either way if you count down here. So we can probably have like happy ending and bad ending on this one. So, okay. Thank you guys very much for watching, and now when we're back, we're gonna tackle the long line of Ashton, and eventually Luca. Damn, this is long. All right, thank you guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, guys. Thank you.